COVID shutdown interrupted a lot of things that we had planned. But fortunately, we get a chance to actually make a proper presentation for our newest August. Contributions made by this Rotarian to the Rotary Foundation of Rotary International is easing suffering, improving living conditions, and providing educational opportunities for young people somewhere in the world. This is truly selfless action. Today it's my honor to award Paul Harris Fellowship Award. This award goes to a Flint Rotarian who saw a need and with the very ideal of service of self was able to put together a water relief project in Haiti and help hundreds of people in a desperate situation. Working with the Flint Club, Flint, Genesee Valley Club, and several individual donors, he was able to amass over $38,000 for the project. And with the one-to-one match and global grants from Rotary International, he was able to put together over $68,000 for 5 rainwater collection projects. What rainwater collection projects provide fresh. Hi, Elizabeth. I'm sorry. Another interruption. So, so he was able to raise over $68,000 for rainwater collection systems providing fresh water for several villages in Haiti that have been at that time devastated by hurricanes. And in some villages, they were left without any public utilities at all. These passive collection systems are now able to provide water even without electricity, making them even more valuable to the villagers. Not only was he able to organize the collection of the funding, but he was also involved with the construction and is monitoring the project in Haiti to make sure it's constructed and is operated as intended. When the conditions are stabilized in Haiti again, we'll be back, I'm sure, making another trip and to see the fruition of his efforts. So, in recognition of Rotary idea of service of myself, I'd like to present to you the latest, the newest Paul Harris Fellowship to Mark Jones. Please stand up. So we have some goods here for you. Your official plaque. All Harris. That's what I want. You're very own. Thank you. And I think one of the coolest things. Yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, this Paul Harris Fellowship.
Thank you very much. We're very honored. And I want to thank everybody in the room on Zoom that have been a part of this project for some time now. And it has gone very well. And we're at this point, we're looking at possibly putting 2 more 10,000 gallon rainwater harvesting tanks. We did receive a check for $25,000 in the last few weeks from another organization known as Rain Catchers. And I'm familiar with them through my church. Actually, they're the reason why we put these larger tanks in, because I got the idea from them. Only they were doing it at a much smaller scale, like 250 gallon tanks. Ours are 10,000 because we're taking the rainwater off of the church buildings. A lot of times they're 100 feet long, 10 rows, it's perfect. And that organization, Rain Catchers, I got the idea for the larger tanks, has dissolved, and they had $100,000 that they had to get rid of. Of course, they're familiar with our work here, which is almost identical to what they were doing. So Flint Rotary was given 25,000 of that. So that's in the bank at the moment. We're trying to put together another matching grant for those dollars. It's gotten a little bit more difficult. Recently, in the last year or two, there's another layer of oversight that's been in place by the foundation. They have a master plan, complete infrastructure plan, $6 billion plan, which is great. But it made it more difficult for us to get matching dollars for our project because National trying to, just shift into that project. So we're working on that right now. And our president here is familiar with the district. He's doing what he can to possibly find another club in Haiti that we can partner with to match this money. So that's the status of it right at the moment. And we'll just see what happens. We got a little bit more shot.
Congratulations again, Mark. And now that we've got the serious stuff on the way. A presidential race. As I mentioned, we're going to travel back, so close your eyes. Imagine it's June 26, 2020. All the stuff that Dr. Bobby talked about, his message has not happened. We're ending our 1920 presidential year, and we're having our roast of past President George. And so with that, the president-elect of our Rotary Club, Ray Giss, is in the company. You just click the right.
Good afternoon, Rotarians. Actually, this is the first time I've been at this microphone. It's very interesting. Yeah. This afternoon, we are featuring the history of former President George Anthony. President George had and continues to have a stellar career. Our committee has studied several flaws in his actions before publishing our final conclusion. I had some confusions. There he is. Celebrating the presidential legacy, or the lack thereof, of George S. Anthony. After high school graduation, President George went into the workplace. He began with the printing with the Tennessee County Road Commission. George wanted to begin by perfecting his ability to properly align whatever he was building. Sometimes it takes a little time. George had challenges with accuracy and with urgency, but he really improved enough to be placed on the sidelines. However, his urgency to finish sometimes got in his way. So he went to stenciling, but he forgot his pocket dictionary. Frustrated, George decided, excuse me, George decided that building bridges would be a better fit for his talents. He went to a local school of engineering and other things, such as auto sales. However, George's first attempt did not go too well. His first and second projects did not go as well as planned. With George, George was determined. He was going to move forward because he actually knew what he was doing. Just so far had not. These next two editions brought back memories of alignment. So what George did was get a contract with the government, and he wanted to build a bridge that would actually be properly funded and would actually do what it was supposed to do. Have cars and traffic drive along and be safe. But the one problem was destination, because this bridge didn't have one. It was the bridge to nowhere. So George decided that I'm tired of this stuff. And what I'm going to do is start focusing on homes. And I know there are a lot of small homes that have needs. And I'm going to figure a way to make things more compact so that everything in the home will fit. And this was the first effort. Here was another effort. And as I was saying, it's nice to wash your hands in a comfort station. But sometimes you have to look past it. You have to look for other options. Starting over. Sometimes it's good to be friendly, but on some occasions, it might be. If you want stability, then you have to sacrifice. So stabilize by putting this pipe in the middle of the stairs means that you might have to crawl around it in order to get where you're going. And this is a space problem, not enough room. So sharing a shower with power controls is sometimes necessary. And if you're in a hurry, you can actually get a good amount of exercise by either jumping through hoops or climbing underneath. You don't have to be in a hurry to go to this place because it brings back the memories of a bridge to nowhere. I think we were getting prepared for a soapbox derby. However, what wasn't mentioned was whether a car had to drive in forward into the garage or back in. And also the stability or the motivation to even go down during the winter months. So George wanted to actually incorporate some exercise into the compact homes that he was building. And this one was actually set up for a combination of yoga. This one was designed for stretching. And this one brought back memories, of course, to the bridge to nowhere. Now, this was a novel idea because it's such a relaxing environment. The only problem was that you had to climb through that window in order to sit down and enjoy yourself, read, whatever you want to do. So George wanted to enjoy sports and make room for others to enjoy these sports. So he designed this so that sports spectators could eat popcorn, drink beer, maybe yell and scream, but they couldn't be heard. but also just enjoy. And this one might be a little painful because this child is coming down in shorts to a graded area. And I think the idea of strength and stability was forgotten this particular person. This one, you need boots and pillows in order to manage the slide. And honestly, I was really happy to see there was a child coming out to use this. But I asked about his projects, and his designs, and his motivation. This was the answer that he got from the property owner. So Joyce decided, I'm going to do buildings because I know that I can build a masterpiece. I'm not sure who will go with the first to jump on the elevator. I'm also not sure that George wasn't sipping a little bit of this old fashioned before he designed this tower. And I'm still not sure about who's going to hop on this for an elevator. He's getting closer though to perfection. George designed this after a few, or after many old fashions. He wanted to be unique, and he was. The only problem was you had to watch TV standing on your head. This was not quite the masterpiece that he had in mind, but he was still making progress. The problem with this is that he was unable to make it bark. It frightened some animals and it frightened some humans, but he was still making progress. But when asked about his thoughts again, this manager gave him this expression. And George was just sick and tired of seeing these expressions. So he said, I will build absolute most perfect facility known to man. And that's what he did. This building here is sound, construction is great, and it will last for many, many, many years. So whoever barks a lot can go in here and have confidence that this building is going to do what it was intended to do. President George, you actually are the masterpiece. You built Rotary from the ground up. You achieved your goals and received a well-earned reward and shared credit. You held in-person meetings until COVID reared its ugly head and continued your meetings virtually. You then guided me through a year of virtual meetings, and you just demonstrated your concern and integrity in today's Paul Harris presentation. I have a gift for you as my thanks for demonstrating what Flint Rotarian stands for. Thank you, sir. Past President George, you made a difference in our community and in our world.
There we go, there we go. Thank you, past President Ray, or should I say President-elect Ray, and President, soon to be past President George, just for back in time. There's a small gift for you that I believe we have. Along with one more item for you, George. George, we have one more item for you. This may sound familiar. Let's see if we get the reading down quite the same, or if one of us is at living. Paul Harris Fellowship is named for Paul Harris, who founded Rotary with 3 business associates in Chicago in 1905. The fellowship was established in his honor in 1957 to express appreciation for a contribution of $1,000 to the humanitarian and educational programs of the Rotary Foundation. Those programs include an array of projects that save and invigorate the lives of people around the world and enhance international friendship and understanding. Since its inception, over 1 million Paul Harris funds have been presented, including 2. Foundation programs provide education opportunities, food, water, healthcare, immunizations, and shelter for millions of persons. These activities are funded, implemented, and managed by Rotarians and Rotary clubs around the world. Rotarians are designated Paul Harris Fellow to recognize another person whose life demonstrates shared purpose with the objectives and mission of the Rotary Foundation to build world understanding and peace. We move closer to a more peaceful world today as George becomes a Paul Harris Fellow. George, your contribution to the Rotary Foundation of Rotary International is easing suffering, improving living conditions, and providing educational opportunities for young people somewhere in the world. This is truly a selfless action. Therefore, it gives me great pleasure to present to you, on behalf of the trustees of the Rotary Foundation, these 3 emblems for Paul Harris Fellow: a certificate, a lapel pin, and a medallion. The certificate states that you have been named a Paul Harris Fellow in appreciation of tangible and significant assistance given for the furtherance of better understanding and friendly relations between peoples of the world. We urge you to wear the Paul Harris Fellow lapel pin to all Rotary events as a symbol of your appreciation and your support for the programs of the Rotary Foundation. Please accept congratulations and sincere appreciation for your commitment to our common goals of world understanding and peace. Ladies and gentlemen, please stand and recognize our newest Paul Harris Fellow, past President George A. Certificate? You got it right? Okay. There's no supposed to be line underneath it for there's your pen. And Sherry, would you mind honors certainly your service still goes on. District Governor elect tonight for leadership meetings. Do you have your remarks you want to give? You don't have to. Sure. Yeah. Yeah. Sorry. You know, I feel like I was robbed. I got almost half a year at the podium. I had so much more to. So to make up for last time, we just have a few pages of. No, seriously, I certainly appreciate this and everything that Rotary stands for. I think this is one of these organizations that make you want to be better. Thank you for everything. And COVID, you know, occurred, and in terms of our Rotary Club and our operations, George really stepped in. I don't know how much you knew about Zoom before March of 2020, but I think he became an expert in it. Certainly the original Zoom host, Rotary, you know, during Ray's term, and even as I was getting started right there. And because you missed a few meetings here at the podium, he's even agreed to help in 2 weeks. You'll see George back up here. Other reason I'm not going to find out he's going to invite us to a panel. The down was like, it's Friday at noon. No, with more people, you should know, but I'm going to do that virtually. And so George will be running the meeting here in a couple of weeks. So thank you for that. Thank you for your service. Thank you all of you, because as we support the foundation of our work, we allow for some of these special tributes. We'll see more of these. We do have a backlog, as you can imagine, of Rotarians who have achieved not only the Paul Harris Fellow, but also, of course, the Jack Kennedy Fellow, which is support of our club's endowment as well, which is another way that we're able to support Rotary here in Flint and Genesee County. So over the next few months, we'll have many of these being presented, and we're working with the folks to make sure that they're able to be groomed, or if they're not able to, at least to I want to thank fellow Rotarians for their service, Dr. Ron Commonwealth for his inspirational message. Also, Dr. Ron let me know that he does have boosters here, maybe not here, but maybe in his car. I don't know if it's Wingram. And if you are, is it 6 months out, 5 months out from Moderna or Pfizer, or 2 months from J&J, you're eligible for a booster. You're over the age of like 11 or something. Everyone is 73. So please see Dr. Bobby if you have, or if you have any questions, I would say also Bobby's able to answer those in our senior community as well. We can check your blood pressure. Last summer it was good. So. I want to also thank Rob Bennett for setting up the takedown, Dan Craney for bulletin notes, Elizabeth Jordan for being our Zoom host, and this was the most trying day to be the Zoom host, as we had a Zoom attack. You may have noticed that in the meeting. So thank you, Elizabeth, for your agility and service. Also, thank you, past President Mack, for your fellows out today. Please join us next Friday for a hybrid meeting. This is our annual Kersley Street. Now, for some of the other Rotarians, we have to explain Kersley Street was a show on PBS that was all about Wall Street. There was Wall Street Week, and so we had Kersley Street Week. The club used to meet on Kersley Street. There's a place that used to be called the Service Center. So you have to explain all of these things that people may not know about. But it's a great fun where we pick how the market's going to do. I think I always pick the market to go down. I figure if I win the contest, well, I won the contest. If I lose the contest, then I made money. So that's kind of always my parlay strategy, I guess. So look forward to seeing you all then. Please do remember to serve to change lives. And we are adjourned. Had to make up for that for the first time.
Bye, everybody.
Good day, everybody.